Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach under the sun. Reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program, because I've developed it myself during the last 8 years that I've been coaching people of all walks of life. And also, another very important reason is because nobody spends as much time with their clients like I do. True story. 2 to 3 times is the frequency with which I get together with all of my clients. All the information from me is below. So I mainly coach with Zoom sessions and or phone calls. And I have a standard package, which again, 2 to 3 times per week is what we get together, the frequency with which we get together. And of course, you're going to have your time slot assigned to you, etc. And we can go over that once we get together on the first phone call or Zoom session. The deluxe version allows you not only the mandatory 3 sessions per week, but also in between you have access to me via emails, text, as well as, if need be, you can leave me an audio of 5 minutes max at a time. So let's just say you need extra hand holding, you're going through a turbulent time right now, and you really need me to be there for you in this capacity, you can have that. Okay, so that's the deluxe package. Also want to remind everybody, if you haven't already signed up for the Magic and Miracles monthly audios, do yourself a favor and do it immediately. Whether or not you're in coaching with me, whether or not you're planning to come into coaching with me, you will still benefit tremendously from those audios, because those are the audios that I will not be releasing on my channel under no circumstances. It contains material from my coaching, from the material that I will include in my book, or books plural, in the future. Contains exercises and just basically goes into depth on all sorts of subjects that I really did not feel like putting out on my YouTube channel, like remote viewing, manipulating energy, all these things. You will learn a lot from it. Now, of course, the regular package of the Magical Miracles audios does not include interaction with me. The deluxe one does. So there's a deluxe version where you get 2 hours, 2 sessions with me on the phone to ask any questions. Now, I want to introduce a new package to you, and this is very similar to but very different. Similar but different to what Magic and Miracles audios are. But I thought it would be helpful to people who maybe right now can't come into my coaching, but still want to benefit from the knowledge that I have to share. And so I created a package that is called Magic and Miracles Video School. And so basically it's a monthly subscription. It's $8.50 right now. It will definitely go up, but I just wanted to introduce it at this price point. And what it really basically is 12 videos. Okay, you will get like 3 videos per week, right? So totaling 12 videos going through my coaching program and giving you all the exercises and everything I basically go through with my clients. Now, of course, you will not be able to interact with me. These are exercises like in video form, and everything that you need to do is kind of like a do-it-yourself guided process. So if you need to get together on the phone with me afterwards and ask questions and go over things, okay, you could do that. But this is literally a way for you to still benefit from the knowledge from my coaching program. And of course, you'll be having to sign a coaching agreement, everything that you will learn, you cannot distribute it, etc., etc. So all the links of the packages I just mentioned are below. Alternatively, of course, and ultimately, okay, I recommend to come into coaching with me one-on-one. Nothing beats that. I get the most work done like in this manner. So if you want to start with a phone call, an introductory phone call, I can always apply that towards the monthly. Or if you just want to sign up monthly and start, you can also do that. All right. So I continue answering questions from my mailbox. This is a series of questions from my mailbox, of which I can never exhaust it because I always have more coming in. But this is a very interesting question, and it often comes up in my coaching. It comes up, I mean, all over the place, right? Not only just from my mailbox. Basically, the question is it even allowed or is it even possible to change people? So it doesn't have to be your specific person as in romantic sense, but anybody, right? So your coworker, your boss, your mother, whoever, okay? So of course it is. Of course it is allowed and possible. Okay, just because it's a person doesn't mean that it's off limits. It is not. And you're not affecting anybody's free will. Nobody has free will in your reality. Okay, I have like a truckload of videos on my channel. You can go watch them. But the thing is, the question really should be, is it possible to change them permanently? Okay, for you. And this is why coaching is highly recommended, to go into all of these things, because for you to believe that this is off limits, you have to be believing something that about yourself, that it's not possible for you to have this kind of power over your reality and over the people in your reality. Okay, now provided, of course, disclosure is that you have to want to do it, right? So all magic requires belief and requires a desire. So desire and belief combined together, unstoppable. Okay, the world will kind of like morph into whatever you want it to be. The person will morph into whatever you want them to be, etc., etc. Now keep in mind, and this is why it's not only allowed, but it is your responsibility, essentially, to change people into whoever you want them to be. And again, provided you want to, because it requires energy. Everything we create in our universe, okay, in our respective universes requires energy. Okay, so I'm a believer that I want to reserve my beautiful energy in creating things that truly fucking matter to me. So if somebody doesn't matter to me, I don't give a shit about changing them. I reserve that energy for something that is truly dear to my heart. Okay, so if I truly want to change somebody, not only, like I said, is it possible, but it's my responsibility, because I am creating my reality, and I have to create it on purpose in order to manifest things that are truly pleasing to me. Okay, if I'm demonstrating to others, okay, not just by being a coach, let's just say, but being a human being, that it's possible to change, others will get inspired by my example, and therefore, remember their own power, right? But in order to understand why it's not only possible but mandatory for you to change people into who you want them to be, if it really pleases you, is this: remember a time in particular with your SP where you didn't have this person in your life, and how you created them, because you did create them. Okay, now if you created a shitty version, or the version that very soon, okay, shortly after you met them and started falling in love with them, turned into shit, this is still a creation. And so in my coaching, we go over these things like, why did you do that? Why did you create that? Now, of course, you didn't do it on purpose. You didn't do it to piss yourself off. Okay, you didn't do it like to make yourself suffer. But the thing is, you did do it unconsciously. And 100% of the time, the reason is really that you have some drama, trauma, panorama to work through. Okay, and it usually is connected to somebody who really affected you early on, usually in childhood, and it usually is a parent. Okay, so I don't believe that it has to be like, if it's a girl, the father affects her and then all the relationships are shit, although it could be true. It could also be the mother. But whoever made you feel totally shitty about yourself, in other words, who made you forget who you truly are and really made you forget about self-love, because it all circles around self-love. When you really love yourself just the way you are, with all your imperfections and quotations and such, but nobody's fucking perfect, okay? Not even I am perfect. Like, don't expect perfection out of me because I'm a coach. Okay, a coach also has, challenges. It's just how you deal with them, etc., etc. Okay, so it's about knowing the difference between somebody who's empowered and not is simply knowing who they are and loving themselves irregardless of the challenges that they run into, of the different fucking people that they run into that don't please them, etc. It's about turning the situation around in your favor, right? It's about not stopping there, not giving up, but actually being a stubborn donkey, okay? This is my favorite metaphor. It's like being a stubborn motherfucking donkey and being like, no way, I don't accept this. I'm going to change the situation, change this person into whatever the fuck I want it to be, whatever the fuck I want them to be. And so remember a time before you met this person, how you created them, right? With your emotions, with your preferences, etc., etc. Now, some of these preferences showed up in this person, and some things you just forgot to mention, quite frankly, okay? I deal with this in my coaching all the time. You mentioned some of the things, but some of the other things that are really, really important, and you thought like, well, that's understood, and universe just will guess what I really want. No way. You have to be specific. And so what you're dealing with right now, chances are, is basically the aftermath of a very sloppy creation, okay? No judgment, it's just what it really is. And so go back to the drawing board and be like, all right, this is what I have now. Okay, I created this person from scratch in the first fucking place. Okay, this person materialized in my reality based on my command. Okay, and if you, again, from my own experience, from experience of my clients, I know exactly how I manifested my SPs when I did, and I know, many of my clients stated exactly the same. It's never a surprise. It's never really a surprise what shows up in your reality if you're completely honest with yourself about what kinds of thoughts you were entertaining, what kinds of moods you were entertaining, what you were thinking about yourself, etc., etc. The kind of quality of people that show up. Like at any given day, you can run this experiment, be in a shitty mood, okay, or not on purpose, but like when you are, and look at the quality of events and circumstances and people that show up in your reality, and then change your mood to being ecstatic and see the difference. It's just like that. And so you remember what that mood was. Mood was. Sorry, I'm talking like 60 miles per hour, or whatever, 100 miles per hour. You remember what that mood was, and that mood created literally the version, okay, of that SP. And so, of course, it's up to you to change them. Now that you are in a different mood, now that you are working on yourself, working on your beliefs, in particular in my coaching, like I see this like so clearly. It's such an elegant way that I coach, but it works every single time. If the person doesn't resist me, of course, and doesn't resist my methods, just go with it. Like chances are you've already been through coaches. This one and the other one didn't work, right? So, okay, so let me do my job. In other words, just take my guidance and you'll succeed. And so once you start changing yourself, you start becoming a different person, you change your mood, you change your attitude, you change everything that you don't really prefer about thinking about yourself, about expectations from relationships, etc., etc. And all of a sudden you're inspired to think different thoughts about this person. Okay, you might not even want them anymore. That's one, situation that could occur. Another one is that you forgive them totally. The resentment just goes, and they have a chance to turn into a different person. Listen, parenthesis here, not for nothing. I've said this like 500 million times on my channel. The resentment, even a little bit, okay? I mean, annoyance, irritation, yes, but resentment, deep resentment, you got to work through it. Otherwise, you're not going to have a chance to turn them into anything different. Like, because you're emotionally attached to this version. You understand? So you have to have a chance. You have to give yourself a chance to create a new version by letting go of the old one and letting go of the resentment. Okay. And a huge parenthesis here. Okay. If you've, got depressed over this, if your finances went down, if your health went down, mental and physical, it's because due to the separation, due to them acting this way and the other way, this is all based on resenting them. Okay, so this is like literal vital energy leaking out of you because you're not processing this resentment. You're not doing anybody a favor, much less yourself, clearly. And so a lot of things will start fixing themselves just automatically. I don't know what happens. I've seen this in my coaching over and over again. It's just magic. It's pure fucking magic. Where it's like, you work through these resentments and things and unforgiveness and this and that and the other, and you put it all in place where it should be, and understand that it's not personal. Creation at the end of the day is not really personal. It may appear that way, but it's just based on vibration. So it doesn't disqualify you as a creator. It doesn't invalidate your feelings, or it doesn't invalidate you. It just means that you got on the wrong frequency, and that frequency created this version. Do you understand what I mean when I say it's not personal? It's just a mechanism. So if you know the mechanism and how it works, then you really can start taking advantage of it. But it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean anything bad had happened. You can all turn it around in your favor at any given time if you understand what you need to do. And so do yourself a favor and really, put an end to your suffering and start really understanding why you created what you created, and that this person is definitely changeable. Okay. And so when you kind of like done through going this drama, trauma, panorama and cleansing it, and I do this very effectively in my coaching, then you really start to understand what's what, Really, I mean, you see the direct correlation between your moods, between your energy, the kinds of thoughts that you put out, the kinds of assumptions, all that jazz. Okay, the kinds of the kind of person that you're becoming, okay, during that process. And you finally arrive at this very simple understanding, which I talk about incessantly, that it's all easy. It's easy if you understand who you are. It's easy if you understand what kind of energy you're bringing. It's easy if you understand it's all energy, and it's easy if you understand that you didn't fuck this up. Nothing went really wrong. It's just that you got on a different track. It's just a different reality. And in creation, really, there's no judgment. Okay, you can create whatever you want. It's just if you prefer something different, okay, you should be able to understand how to create it. Okay, but since, you start understanding how it all works, then you really are able to manipulate energy in your favor. And yes, that includes manipulating, in quotations, people and USP. Okay, you'll be able to manipulate people like on a remote control. Now again, manipulating has a negative connotation. Maneuvering, okay, let's just say. It's not about, playing mind games. It's not about causing harm. It's about literally manipulating energy. And so again, if you're in a shitty mood, you're manipulating people to be assholes to you, okay? For the sake of clarity and simplicity. If you're in an ecstatic, high-flying mood, then you're manipulating everything and everybody around you to be congruent with your creation and all in your favor. Everybody's just bowing down to you and doing as you please. And life is fucking easy and beautiful. Okay? But you really have to understand that this is your duty to create an experience of your pleasing. Nobody's going to do it for you. Okay, so if right now you're in pain, you're kind of doubting if it's really possible, it's possible. But the key lies with you. And quite frankly, okay, and I've said this many times before, this SP that you're so worried about right now, or that you're crying over and this and that, is nothing more but a trigger for you to start paying attention to who you are. Okay, it's just somehow, some way, universe had to trigger you to start paying fucking attention, to start making changes. And there's no such trigger like the affairs of the heart, I find. Okay, which is why so many people are so hung up on the subject of SP. Well, whatever works, right? Universe knows exactly what's going to work for you, and this got your attention. But at the end of the day, it's about creating an experience that you really like and becoming the person that is really empowered, and therefore for whom manipulating energy and creating experiences and creating versions of people that they're really into and they really prefer is a piece of fucking cake. Do you know how easy it is to change a person? You don't ask yourself questions like, is it really allowed? You know that it's common sense. It's just, this is how the universe works, because there are different realities, parallel realities allow for this, no problem. There are different versions of this person already anyway. So you just, by changing yourself, you're allowing for this new version to show up into your reality, which is why the only person that needs to change is yourself. Okay, if you're not going to change anything about yourself, you don't expect any change, all right? That's just the end of it. It's just mathematically and physically impossible. But to change it permanently, not just a one-off event, okay? Which is why affirmations don't work, magic tricks don't work, meaning like, this technique and that technique. No, the technique is literally changing your understanding of who you are, how powerful you are. Once that clicks in within you, and again, I teach this in my coaching, how to really change circumstances on a dime. It's nothing really beats one-on-one coaching, because we can go one by one with your situation and circumstances as they arise throughout the coaching. And I do recommend 2 to 3 months, okay, on average in my coaching. But some people, listen, within a month, most people make tremendous progress. Again, if you take my guidance and take this seriously and show up to work, okay? I have to really, really stress that. If you're not taking it seriously, then, the results will be, what they will be. I'm a very on purpose coach, and I'll give you everything that I have to help you, but you have to show up with commitment and a real kind of like zero in on this with laser sharp focus, okay? And that's the only way your magic will work. Like, just going forward throughout your life, okay, throughout the day, your magic works when you're fucking focused, when you're on purpose. When you don't dilly-dally, when you don't ask questions like, is it possible? Duh, it's possible, is whatever you want. Now, of course, don't hurt that person, okay? Be benevolent, because it all will just come back to you, okay? You can protect yourself from people who are trying to like cause a commotion. That's fine. And I teach that, again, some of these audios are recorded for the Magic and Miracles monthly audios. I just recorded one the other day. But you can definitely create protection, but you can also create different versions of people through literally casting spells, through literally reconfiguring circumstances, traveling parallel realities, however you want to phrase it. For some people, it has this resonance, if I cast a spell, it has to work no matter what. It does. But here's the deal. To change someone permanently, or to change any circumstance permanently, you have to change. And if you change, of course, you believe the power is with you, and that, it never left. You just didn't use it very, coherently and properly. But when you realize how powerful you are, that at any given moment, you can change that person into whoever you want them to be, provided you've let go of the old version, it might just blow your socks off, the kinds of changes that you will experience. True story. Like right now in my coaching, people are, I don't know what's going on. Okay. Everybody's experiencing like mega changes, huge changes. I'm not going to take credit entirely, because it's up to them to show up to work, of course. And you see, both have to happen. I will bring my goods and magic and tricks to the coaching, but you have to show up and do the work. So right now, I'm feeling like this is definitely happening. And if this is the kind of person you are, you will benefit from my coaching like tremendously. Okay, but there's some kind of energy, magical energy happens when the two come together, right? The coach and the coachee who's really willing and eager to change, then fucking magic transpires like no tomorrow. Okay, but again, all magic requires belief and consistency and realization of that you're powerful, that this power never left you. It was just misused or not used at all. Okay, so in conclusion, yes, it's all possible, changing a person into whoever you want, because there's an unlimited amount of versions of this person. What you need to remind yourself is of your power to do so, and you have definitely no restrictions as far as that goes, as long as you're benevolent, okay? And in order to make this a permanent change, you yourself need to permanently change. And that, it's a process, but in order to keep the manifestation, because I'm going on the assumption that you just, you want to keep that version, right? Not just experience it for like an hour or a day or a week. You want to make it permanent. You have to change and continue changing, meaning being consistent in the change that you're creating. And for that, honestly, coaching is spectacular. Because when you fall off the wagon, I will remind you, you're off the wagon. Get back in your power. All the information from me is below. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.